Greetings and salutations. I'm a little bored, so I decided to sit down, disassemble my entire keyboard, lube it up, put it all back together with some brand new keycaps. As you can see, I currently have a concoction of random keycaps. I have my puddings, I think it's HyperX puddings, the Novel Keys milkshakes. I have some Woods caps as well. So it's just a large mixture of switches, and I decided that it's about time that I mix it up, I change it up, and have it sounding a little better. But without further ado, we'll just jump right into it. I'll break down everything as we go along and kind of explain little things here and there, just for those who haven't built keyboards or modified a keyboard in any way, shape, or form. This is also my first time doing it, and I kind of just guessed how to do everything and figure it out as I went along. It's not super complicated, it's easy, it's very time consuming and tedious. Almost forgot, these are the keycaps I'm going to be using. They are the XVX Shine Throughs. They're a Japanese style with a plum cherry blossom design, and it comes in a 127 pack. I'm just going to be using 67 or 68 keys. I never remember what a 65% keyboard is. It's either 67 or 68. So I'm just going to be using, I'll just say 68 out of the 127. Okay, now to really get into things, I'm just going to be using my keycap puller here just to get all these switches off. I'll do a little time lapse, some music so you don't hear talking the entire time. Now for the spacebar to come off, I'm going to do a little dusting of it, clean it off a little bit. Then I'm going to start pulling out the switches. Okay, now that I've cleaned the keyboard, I'm going to use this switch puller to pull out all the keys. Let's see if I can do a cheesy little edit for this. Okay, wow, that actually worked. Here's an unnecessary explosion for that. Okay, now that that's all done, we're gonna get the lube station and get everything ready for disassembling. And these are the switches that I'm using. They are the Kale Creams. They are a linear switch. They're honestly my daily driver. Without them being lubed, they're super smooth. Honestly, I just love them. I was using tactile beforehand, got a little bit loud, and I just wanted to try something new, and I ended up getting Kale Cream switches. Honestly, they're great. They're smooth. They click like butter. Anyways, that's enough yapping. Here's another time lapse of me disassembling all the switches and getting them ready. Okay, now that that first batch is done, we're going to get to lubing. If anyone's wondering, this is the lube I'm using. It's Krytox 205G0. From what I hear, this is the best lube on the market. And I went ahead, got it. Wonderful packaging. Came nicely, vacuum sealed, the whole nine, so no leaking like I've had issues with lubes in the past. I never end up using those. They're still in my drawer. And this is my fine tip lube brush. It's a Glorious brand. I'm a big fan of Glorious. My mouse is Glorious, so I figured I might as well just get this to complete the circle, I guess. Any brush with a fine point will do the trick, in all honesty. Now this is roughly how much lube I want on each switch. I'll end up putting more on as it goes to kind of just get a feel for things, because I definitely want this to be a bit more smooth and smoother travel with a very slight amount of sound compared to how it is stock, and we'll go from there. We'll adjust along the way, and once again another time lapse to kind of speed through everything, because I know not everyone wants to watch 2-hour long video of switches getting put together or disassembled and put together.
You're pulling on my walls down. I've never been exposed like this before. I'm good at shutting you out. I've always had a way of keeping close. Beating, hiding, I've been calling out your name from the darkness, thinking it's too late. If you're finding I've been too much on your plate, I'll keep hiding, calling out your name, calling out your name, calling out your name, calling out your name, calling out your name. Your name. Tell me how you're feeling since you got me out in the open. Now I'm ready to dive in.
Okay, now that the first batch of switches are done, we did the down stem, we did the top shell housing, we did the bottom housing and the springs. Now I'm gonna put this batch together and then get started on the second batch. Okay, I finished with the second batch, and about 5 hours later, they're all done, they're all lubed and ready to go. Next, I'm gonna pull out these stabilizers and clean those and lube those up as well. I got a little bit confused here. Stabilizers weren't coming out after I pulled out all the screws, and it took me a little bit longer to realize that there were more screws in the board that I had to pull out. So after about 10 minutes, I figured it out. I figured out where the screws were, got everything out, disassembled the entire board. Here is the actual hot swap plate or connection board, whatever you want to call it. And this is the aluminum face plate. After a while, I got all the stabilizers out. They definitely fought me quite a bit. So I forgot to hit record. I ended up doing 2 stabilizers. I got the spacebar and the shift in all set in place. For the enter and the backspace, you can see how gunky they were, just like hair and dirt. And it was a lot more gunky and dirty than I thought it was gonna be. So cleaning this is actually satisfying. And here I got a pretty good glob layering the inside of this stabilizer housing. Just trying to get all the edges, all the corners, the sides. And after assembling, I'm going to apply a nice layer of lube just for that extra smoothness, the glide, the buttery feeling. And again, after 17 minutes of struggling and trying to get these stabilizers back in, I finally got it. Now I'm just testing them, making sure they move how they're supposed to, make sure they're lifting evenly. Okay, so all the stabilizers checked out. Everything was good, moved how I wanted it to. Now I'm going to reassemble everything, put everything back together. Thankfully I separated all the screws and I know where they all go now. Now we're going to do another time lapse just to get through reassembling the board.
Been hiding, I've been calling out your name from the darkness, thinking it's too late. If you're faded, I've been too much on your plate. I'll keep hiding, calling out your name, calling out your name, calling out your name, your name, calling out your name, your name, calling out your name, calling out your name.
Now that it's all reassembled and put back together, I'm going to start putting all the switches in, and then we'll put the keycaps on. We'll do a sound test for the before and after, then end out the video. Okay, now that all the switches are in, I tried to do a cool little edit. It wasn't working out how I expected it to, so moving on. Now that all the keys are on, we're going to do a sound test. Unfortunately, I didn't record a before. Thankfully, I did have some unlubed switches laying around, so I threw them back in the board, put some keycaps on them just to get a rough idea what the before sounded like, and then we'll do the after as well. And now for the after. And yes, I am a single finger typer. But regardless, I hope everyone enjoyed. I hope you liked the video. This took a total of like 6 days to make. But regardless, if you made it this far, please drop a like, consider subscribing. I'd highly appreciate it. And I will hopefully get on a better uploading schedule, at least hopefully twice a month for the time being, until I can get into a better routine of things. But hope you all have a great day. Take care. Peace.